Executive Director?
CEO.
CEO.
Yes.
And Board President. There we go. All right. And good morning, Rim Country. Chris Higgins in the studio, and it is time for the KRIM Community Spotlight Program. Hope you're having a wonderful Wednesday morning and enjoying that beautiful weather. It is heating up though, and wow, I think it's supposed to be 95 today, and by the end of the week we're looking at 99 degrees.
Wow.
It's a little warm, but still beautiful, and it cools off at night, so it is still lovely, lovely weather. Well, this morning in the studio we have from the Time Out Shelter, we have CEO Trish Klaver and the board president Hannah Lusk. Good morning to both of you.
Good morning, Chris.
How are you doing this morning?
Doing well, thank you. Thanks for having us.
Oh, you are so welcome. And this is a show that wow, I have been trying to schedule, and you've been trying to come in, and it seems like, oh my gosh, things come up, things happen on my end to where I'm like, I am so sorry, Trish. I call you,
It's
and
right.
no,
It
and
was
you.
great to talk to you on the phone so many times. So.
No, but thank you for being so understanding, and
Things.
I'm so glad that we can have you both in to talk about the Time Out Shelter, to tell our listeners and our viewers on our KRIM FM Facebook page
Good
and
morning.
YouTube channel. Good morning to everyone watching. But to share with them about Time Out Shelter and the role of the Time Out Shelter, and one of the big things is how long the Time Out Shelter has been in existence, because you're coming up on a pretty big anniversary.
We are. We actually, last month we just passed our 30-year mark of being incorporated in the state of Arizona.
Yeah.
And next year, 2023, will be the 30th anniversary of the shelter actually being open here in Payson. So 30 years is a long time, a lot of impact on thousands of lives that have come through our shelter.
30 years. I mean, that I just think about all of the women, the children, the families that have been helped over those 30 years.
Yeah, and the volunteers that have come through in the last 30 years too have put their hearts and souls into it and made it what it is today.
Oh yeah, board members, all of the board members, volunteers.
Yeah, it's amazing to think of.
And Hannah, you are, you've just been appointed president of the board.
Yep, I've taken over the gavel.
There we go. Bang, bang, bang.
And we really have one.
We do have one.
Yes. Takes that over.
There you go. And the previous president, Christine Croak, how long was she president?
It was nearly 3 years of being the board president. So we would like to really thank Christine Croak for all that she's put into Time Out. Just all of the efforts that have gone into it, the fundraising, leading our board, contributing to the organization, during a challenging time as well.
Yes.
She had to be president during all the COVID, 2.5 years time, or nearly 3 years now. So.
There's like should be like a little gold star next to her
There
name.
should
like
be.
a
She
gets
little
an
bonus,
extra.
with underneath, COVID years.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's the bonus.
Yes.
Bonus presidency, but thank you, Christine Croak, for all of your...
Yeah, and now how long have you been on the board, Hannah?
Oh dear, probably around 3 years, maybe 4.
Yes.
3 to 4 years.
Yes, at least 3 to 4 years, and Hannah was our vice president. So she's moving up from vice president to president, and we appreciate that.
Yeah.
So
I remember, I think, I don't know how long you had been on the board, but I remember when we played music out at the golf tournament out at the Rim.
Yep.
And I think you were maybe fairly new to the board.
First year.
That was in your first year.
That was my first year.
And that was 2018, 2019?
Yes, it was. It was 2019.
That was our very first golf tournament.
Yeah.
It was.
At the Rim.
Oh, wow. And speaking of golf tournaments, you just had a golf tournament at the Payson Golf Club. A huge success.
Huge. Yeah.
Yeah.
All the help And the money that we raised really brings a lot of awareness to domestic violence and also helps the current residents.
And also money from that tournament going towards your building.
And towards our new building. So for the last 3 years, almost 4, we've been raising funds for a new shelter. So being that we have been a shelter for 30 years, our building's getting a little old and kind of being patched together. So our goal is to build a new shelter on the same property. So our golf tournaments are to raise funds for that purpose.
And you had 2, I guess, main sponsors or a contributor, somebody that has contributed quite a bit to this fund that would also contributed during that golf tournament. And can you share who that is?
Yeah, that is the MHA Foundation was one of the big sponsor this year, a first time sponsor. And then the Canals Foundation was an incredible sponsor, and this is throughout the years also. They've just supported us throughout the years. And then we've had a lot of volunteers and other donations that have helped contribute to that fund as well.
Yeah, I mean, there were so many prizes, the raffle prizes, or I guess what, a silent auction?
We had raffle prizes, with gift baskets that people could put their little tickets in for.
Yes.
So that was great. Everybody who donated for that too, the gift cards and businesses around town donated those items to put together.
We'd like to thank all of the community and businesses that did support all of our silent auction items, raffle items, to make this all possible. And thank the golf course, Pearson Golf Course, for providing the venue, the wonderful venue that we have there. So
and it's so nice with their new backyard.
It was
so,
really fun.
I mean, that area there that they've finished, and they have the outdoor seating, the outdoor grill, the area with cornhole boards, everyone where they got, set up for a picture, a group photo.
And that's a great picture.
Great.
The yard is beautiful. It gives everybody a chance to sit down, relax after their golfing. So I think everyone had a great time.
I think so too.
It was. And also Gary Cordell providing the PA system.
Yes,
and,
he's actually our chairperson for that event. So
Nice.
he is the behind the scenes organizer of that charity golf tournament. And we'd like to express our gratitude to Gary as well for making that all happen.
Without him,
does a
it
great
would
job.
be very difficult.
Yes, he has a expertise in golf tournaments. He's done many, around the state and elsewhere. So we appreciate that expertise. Given to us.
It really makes a big difference when you're doing an event like that, and you have somebody, a coordinator, or somebody that is overseeing it, that has, set all that up. It makes it a lot easier to come in, and it's still a lot of work for other people, for volunteers, board members, but it does take a lot off your plate.
It does.
It certainly does. And that's where I feel fortunate with a diverse group of board members that come from different backgrounds and have areas of expertise that they can offer to me, to support me, to help this work. So
there you go. And we do have a few people watching that I need to say hi to. Jasmine Schill, saying hello to all of us this morning.
Good morning.
Also,
Good morning.
Edna Welsheimer.
She got in. Okay, they're having thunderstorms back there. She didn't know if she'd be able to tune in. Hi, Edna.
Yes.
Hi, Edna.
And she says, love to all my favorite people. And then so pleased to see Hannah at the reign. So
yes, thank you, Edna.
Edna, one of the many past CEOs.
A long time.
Long
She had a
time.
long tenure there.
Yeah, kind of.
11 years.
She left, or she had to leave, and then came back. And
She came back as
filled in,
interim.
Interim.
She
yeah,
did.
So.
She came back to help us.
Edna's a huge part.
Mhm.
We appreciate Edna so much, and she's still a part too.
Her involvement still continues.
It does.
She's in. She's running
even
in
though
the
she's out
background.
of state, she is still involved.
She is running in our background. That's
Yeah.
for sure. She's
Well,
watching us.
And that's an example, like you said, Hannah, of people when you recognize just all of the incredible people that have been involved, with Time Out, the
Mhm.
Time Out organization, through those 30 years. I mean, there are so many dedicated, devoted people that care about the Time Out shelter, the mission,
Mhm.
that have put so much into it to make it what it is.
Yep, and it's not an easy thing to do with timeout. There's a lot of mental stuff, and you're dealing with people sometimes with trauma, and it's the people that have helped out so many years with their heart. It's not about themselves. It's for a bigger cause, and that's why we all do this.
Volunteers, board members, I find that in our employees too, that we attract that they have the heart for it.
Yep.
And this is a meaningful mission to them.
No, it certainly is. So, Time Out, for those listening, because we have so many new people to the community that maybe have heard the name Time Out Shelter, but they don't really understand what you do at the shelter. Can you go into that a little bit, Trish?
Sure. The Time Out Shelter is part of Time Out Incorporated.
Mm-hmm.
We have the shelter, and we also have our thrift store here in Payson that's located out on Highway 244 next to the pizza factory, in which all of the proceeds from that thrift store go directly to support our shelter. Okay. Now, the Time Out Shelter is a 28-bed facility. So we have room for 28 individuals and their children. And, I looked at the averages of this past fiscal year, and we've had an average occupancy rate of 22 people steadily through this fiscal year. And that's a lot for a 28-bed facility. That's 80% occupancy. So that gives you an idea of the need to have a shelter. So at the shelter, we have a 24-hour a day, 7-day-a-week crisis line that people can call in on to receive the help that they need. They can either come into shelter, or we can give them referrals to other agencies, where they can reach out for help. But when they come into shelter, we have a number of programs there for them. We have counseling by a licensed counselor. We have comfort care programs, in which they can develop their artistic side. It's a way of relaxing and developing your creative energy. We have lay legal help, which is they're not attorneys, but they can help you with your filing of protective orders, accompany you to court, and assorted paperwork, and retrieve your lost paperwork. Some people come in, they don't have their birth certificates or social security cards anymore, so we can help you get those back. We also have a transitional housing available, which when you have completed our program and are ready to go out on your own, we will help you with assistance on getting into some local, your own residence. Hopefully locally, we can find something. It's kind of hard to find up here. So availabilities for housing, but we do have funding for that, where we can help folks with their deposit and first month rent. So those are a few of the comprehensive programs that we offer at the Time Out Shelter.
That is a long list of services
And there's
and
more.
resources.
There's more.
And there's more.
I just can't think of everything. Yeah.
Oh my
It's a lot.
goodness.
Yeah.
So to keep this organization going does require a significant amount of funding, I would
It
imagine.
requires a lot of funding. I have a lot that I have to meet every month. And, at the same time, the fundraising kind of parallels itself. We're trying to fundraise to build a new shelter because of the aging facilities, but I also really need funding for operating. And I do have federal and state grants that I operate from, but a lot of our funding comes from the public and the community businesses. There's foundations, corporations, so I'm reaching out all the time to help with our operating support. Yeah.
And we do live in such an incredible community. There's so many incredible businesses, organizations, and individuals that help nonprofits like the Time Out Shelter.
They really do. and it really impresses me. You
Mhm.
know, I've lived here for 6 years, came
Mhm.
from the Bay Area in California, and the community spirit here is awesome. I just
Mhm.
love it. It's a great place.
We have a great, generous community.
Very
Mhm.
generous.
Yes. Now, the thrift store. So, the thrift store, which is in the Basha Shopping Center, all of the proceeds basically from the store go to help fund the timeout shelter. Is that correct?
That's
Directly.
Directly.
Wow.
100% of the
100%.
proceeds.
Mm.
It doesn't go off to a corporate office somewhere, you know, because this is our location right here in Payson, you know, comes directly to the shelter,
Yes.
literally, the deposit. You know, so yeah, it goes, direct services,
Yeah.
benefits.
And that's one of the areas I would imagine volunteers can serve. The timeout shelter, the organization is volunteering at the thrift shop.
Yep, and we're always in need of volunteers. We're always in need of board members too. So,
Okay.
yeah, the thrift store is a great place for volunteers.
Okay. And so the thrift store, what are the hours of operation for the thrift store?
They are running Tuesday through Saturday. They're open from 9 to 4.
Okay.
And they'll take donations of your household goods, furniture, clothing. In the back there, you go around the back side of it, and there's a drop-off area. So you can drive through that, you know, around Canyon State, Copper State Credit Union, and then make that turn and make your donations there.
Drop off in the back.
Drop off in the back.
No. Yeah, and then again, if you're looking for somewhere to volunteer,
It's a great opportunity
Yeah.
and
It really
fun.
is.
Yeah.
They have a
No.
lot of fun there too.
Yeah. No, that is great. And so an event that just started last year, Lanterns on the Lake. That was just a great event, wasn't it?
It was our first event for Lanterns on the Lake, and we had everybody write on these lanterns, and then we made them glow, and then we released them into the lake, and it was a really awesome event.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it is. It looks really beautiful, and as the sun goes down.
It does.
Yeah, it's really nice. So there was let's see, KRIM was out there.
Yeah,
And
Randy.
yes, Randy was out
Randy
there with some
yeah.
music and DJing, and then we had a couple food trucks.
Yeah.
We had first responders that brought fire trucks out, and police department participated. Yes, and so that was a lot of fun for the kids.
We're excited for this year's event too. So it's going to kick off on September 29th at Green Valley Park, the Big Lake.
Yeah.
And October is Domestic Violence Month, Awareness Month.
Gotcha. And then you also, I believe you do a walk then around the lake.
Yeah.
Is that where you do the walk?
Yep,
Yeah.
we'll do the walk around the lake just to bring awareness to
To bring
domestic violence.
awareness, and then many people that attend, you know, have someone that was directly affected by domestic violence, so it's kind of a, you know, they're kind of keeping them in memoriam as well during that
It is. It's a
time.
great kind of event to come together and, you know, just remember.
Observance and awareness.
Yep.
type thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that, yeah, I think, and that's just a beautiful location. It's
It
a
is.
beautiful venue,
It
location to be out at Green Valley.
It is.
And then the lanterns on the lake just really make it even more special.
Yep,
Yes.
it's beautiful.
Yeah.
So, if you mentioned the thrift store and the opportunity for volunteers, what is the best way for people to start that process if they're interested in volunteering? Should they call the thrift store or
Yes.
go into the thrift store? Okay.
I would recommend calling the thrift store,
Okay.
and I'll give you their phone number.
Okay.
It's area code 928, of course, and it's 474-3989.
Okay.
And the store manager's name is Deb.
Okay.
Deb Crawford, and she manages the thrift store.
Mhm.
And you can contact her with your interest in volunteering.
Mhm.
And we also have a volunteer coordinator that she will work with. She'll
Okay.
send that information over to Patty,
Uh-huh.
our invaluable person who does
Uh-huh.
love everything. Yeah, she's our volunteer coordinator, and she will get them set up with all their paperwork that they need and get them placed.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you mentioned board members, that you're always looking for new board members. What is the best way for people to go about are board meetings open? Can people come to a board meeting just to kind of observe?
They can, but
Okay.
I'd like them to reach out to, they can reach out to me
Okay.
first.
Okay.
And on my Facebook is fine, if
Okay.
they wanna send me a message,
Mhm.
or my phone number too is 928-978-0026.
Okay.
And they can reach directly out to me.
Okay, great. And then donations. Donations, can they be made through the website?
They certainly can.
They can.
Okay. Yes.
We're happy to receive donations any way that we can. So you can go onto our website, which is www.timeoutshelter.org,
Uh-huh.
and there's a donation button on that page, and it'll take you right through the process of donating with your credit card, right online. Or you can mail your donation as well. We take
Mhm.
checks too. So, checks and cash.
Yeah.
Checks at P.O. Box 306, Payson, 85547.
Also, looking on your website, it's great because right at the top, if you need help, if you're in a situation that is not safe and you don't know who to reach out to or turn to, then there is also that ability on the website.
Yep.
there.
Yes, go right on the website. You can call directly to the shelter as well. It'll have the helpline. There's also a mobile line, and that number, if you feel like you'd rather text, we monitor that as well. You can
Okay.
text in for help.
Okay. Well, that's very good to know. It's unfortunate that that is needed. It's unfortunate that there is a timeout shelter organization ultimately, but people in the community are very fortunate that you do exist and that you've been here for 30 years
Thank you.
to help those people that are in those bad situations.
Yes.
And so it's one of those things. You wish it didn't.
We wish it didn't exist.
It didn't exist.
Yeah.
You really wish that, but
I think a lot of people think too that it doesn't exist because they're not directly involved in it, but it's a lot more common than people really know.
yeah, that's especially when you talk to or if you communicate or work with the police department at all. I mean, that's something that you find out.
Yeah,
You
we
find
have
out, and
really good relationship with the Payson Police Department. They're very responsive when we need their help, and we're there, if they need to bring somebody in.
Yeah, I know. Chief Tisher, Lieutenant Hazelow, all the way down. Every officer, detective in the department, very supportive, and is there, and
We appreciate that.
and that makes a difference as well with your the role that you provide and the services that you can provide to people. So there we go. Lanterns on the Lake. It looks like, is that the next event really for
It is.
timeout?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yep,
Yes.
Lanterns on the Lake is our next event.
Okay.
September 29th. So keep your eyes open. We'll have posters.
Mhm.
Last year we had posters. We've put them at all the businesses here in town. So yeah, keep your eyes open for news on that, and as we develop it.
And it will be here before we know it.
It will be.
Because
Time
it's
flies.
already summer, so
Oh, I
it's
can't
summertime,
believe it.
and the end of summer will be here like that.
Yep.
And then, wow, August, September, there you are.
Wow.
So, well, thank you so much, Trish and Hannah, for coming in this morning.
Thank you for having us.
You're welcome,
Oh,
and
you are.
thank you very much for giving us this venue to reach out
Oh,
to the community.
You're very
We appreciate
welcome. We love having you in, and just love spotlighting the timeout shelter and just the amazing job that you both do and everyone else that's involved with the program, with the organization.
It's a team effort.
Yeah,
Oh, definitely. Couldn't do it without the team.
Exactly.
That's for sure.
Yeah, when you started going through all the different programs and resources and
There's a lot.
services.
There's a lot of
you
people
provide.
involved, a lot of people I depend on
That's
to
right.
help
Yeah.
make this whole thing happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't just happen for 30 years
Yeah,
if there isn't an incredible group of people that are working behind the scenes.
that's right.
So,
That's true.
well, thank you again, and thank you to everyone listening and watching this morning, and
Thank you.
hello again to Edna watching.
Edna.
And now is she in Georgia? Is it Georgia? or-
Arkansas.
Arkansas.
Mhm.
Arkansas.
She's in Dardanelle, Arkansas.
Yes. Hopefully it isn't too bad of a storm there in Arkansas today, Edna, but it is rain. Golly, it would be nice to get rain here.
Send us some rain,
Send us
Edna.
some
We
rain.
need some moisture.
All right. Well, thank you again, and
Thank you, Chris.
you're so welcome. Big thank you to Desert Financial Credit Union for sponsoring our KRIM Community Spotlight program. Time to get back to the music with some James Taylor, Three Dog Night, Aerosmith, and more. But first, let's get a quick update from the National Weather Service.
Weather forecast for Payson and surrounding areas.
There we go.
Just Jim 1.
All right. And